Hi everyone. Hope you're all right. Sorry I haven't done live last couple of weeks. I've been quite busy. I've had a few setbacks to get through, and some busy days when you've been cleaning your van and doing all the other stuff. Having a family that does, you kind of get put back. So I wasn't able to get them lives out. So I'm determined to get this one out, and I've started an hour and a half later than what I wanted to, but we're here anyway. I've just wanted to give an update really because I'd done a video that day in the life. Everyone seems to sort of like them ones, so I'll try and do more of them. And obviously, I was showing my the reality, my bad run of luck, basically. I've had a few comments, obviously, lots of good advice, and also a lot of people thanking me for just showing how it is. I suppose the reality side of it, the downsides that can happen against you, because all the ones you tend to watch is always about how great it is. Never really too much about the setbacks you have to get through. But yeah, I think just a roundup is excuse me. Basically, December. I think we all, there's a lot of people commented on there as well, had a bad month because of the weather. We had a lot of high winds, didn't we? 2 storms coming along, and then the holidays such as New Year's Day, for example. So I lost a lot of work, and I had to use money I'd saved in the pot after paying my tax bill to get me through that month. And that kind of wiped my buffer out. And then the beginning of January was where my van's MOT is, and that ended up costing me £700, cleaned out my savings. So that was an expense put on my credit card, because without my van, I ain't going to work. So I've got to get it on the road, basically. So we did that. It's all fine. It's all going now. And then January, we had that cold spell where I lost a week due to the cold weather, even though looking out the window, it wasn't all frozen. But when you was working, the water was freezing on the glass, and it's going to cause ice all underneath people's doorways. So it's not worth it. So I didn't work that week neither. And that month, I basically managed to, with working Saturdays and trying to fit in other jobs here and there. Oh, sorry, it's got alerts coming up on my screen. Coming up again. Basically, I just managed to break even. So it didn't go under. It could have been worse, but I just broke even, and I didn't end up with any profit that I was hoping to. So I can start whittling away these expenses I paid on the credit card, for example. So this month I've been banking on a really good month. February, so far so good. As long as we don't get any setbacks, we should be all right. But I have had a setback I think it was last week. I can't remember. So much has happened. I was on a job where I needed my gutter vac, and basically I was using it at the end of the day, and 2 of my motors straight away blew on me. So I turned them off, obviously went onto another motor. That didn't blow. So I was able to complete the job on one motor, which is no problem with. I've got a Skyvac Industrial 85, so that was good. Thankfully, it didn't go on me, so I completed the job, so I didn't need to break out the ladders for that one. But then what it did mean is I was worrying about the expense now, obviously, of having to fix that with no money. So that was the credit card again. And the other thing I was worried about is I'm going to have to take a day off work to travel to Spinner Clean to then get them to fit the motors, plus the cost of the motors. But when I looked on the website, see, you could do it yourself. So I ordered them, they were delivered. I then went through about 6 hours one evening of replacing these 2 motors because I needed it for a gutter job, which was Friday just gone. I managed to get that done. And then when I turned on to test them, the 2 I put in worked. I thought brilliant. But when I turned on the one that was working, that then blew. So I then had to go and order another new motor, wait for that to get delivered. I think that was Thursday night. I put that in. So I ended up with 3 working motors. But what I did do is I tried to make a video on that one on how to change your motor. So when I get time, I've got to edit that one. It still took quite a while because you're trying to film it and all that stuff. And then hopefully make a video on that for you. So yeah, I managed it. I managed to replace the motors, so I was pretty chuffed, and the gutter vac is all good working order. So that problem resolved, and I didn't have to take a day off work to do that. So I was happy with that. So I'll just go over to what I did do is on here, you'll see on the Spinner Clean website, the Industrial 85 replacement motor, £126. Obviously, I ended up buying 3 or 2 in one go, and then one a couple of days later. And it did say that you can, on their website, replace them yourself. Don't know if you can just see if I highlight that there. It says here, easy to fit yourself. So that's what made me think, right, I'm going to have a crack, because I can't afford to lose a day's work, especially when you don't know how the rest of the month's going to go. And I got in touch with Spinner Clean and then basically asked for some instructions, because I had a look on YouTube. I did find one video. It's based on people in Australia. I guess it's a sister company of Spinner Clean, and they sell Spinner Clean products. And so I watched that, but I did get a response back from Spinner Clean. So they're really good, really. Just ping them an email, ask a question quite fast to get a response. So what they did is they give me a PDF, and then basically through an email, so I printed it off, and then I used that as a guide to kind of follow the instructions. And having seen it on a previous video, which was done slightly different to this, and then I thought, right, I'm going to make a video on it. As normal though, nothing runs smoothly. I'd put it all back together. There's a couple of times when you click it on, the motors weren't running, so I thought, what have I done? Do I need to buy new motors? But all it was a loose wire. But to get to the loose wire, I had to take everything apart. On the actual head of the motor, it's in different layers. So you have to undo tons of screws to get to the last layer, just to make sure it was the wires, and it was one had come loose. Put it all back together. I had to do that about 2 or 3 times till eventually everything was locked on in place properly. And yeah, it all worked. So I was over the moon. But yeah, there's the PDF. It's A4 size when you print it off, and it's in landscape mode. The pictures are quite small, to be honest. So I was glad I watched a video, because having known a bit of what I've seen on the video and then reading on instructions, I was able to sort of like get my way through it. Not too bad. Just took me time, really. Yeah, and made a video. So hopefully we'll see the video soon on how all that went. But it is something you can do. But if you haven't got the time to do it, I would say take the day off work and go down to Spinner Clean, because they'll probably do that 10 times quicker than what I did, because they do all this all the time. They serviced the head of my Skyvac, and they were good for that as well. But it just shows you how important your filters are on your gutter vac. So you should change them regularly, really. I can only assume, as I had 3 motors go at the same time, maybe it's just their time of life, I don't know. Or perhaps it was the filter, because I have had it a while, and a bit of debris gone through the filter, because it's not doing its job, it's too old. And then I guess they've gone into the motors and messed them up. So as well as the expense of having, excuse me, got a cold coming, the motors, I then brought 2 more filters as well, because I definitely don't want to then ruin my new filters and then have a bigger expense. So I've got 2 new filters, and I'm going to change them a lot more regularly. So I would definitely take their advice on their website of getting these filters regularly changed when they need doing. But yeah, it's 15 pages long, and it just goes through stage by stage how to put it all back together. And again, just write off to them. It's updated version as well. They sent it all across to me. And if I can do it, blinking hell, then you can definitely do it. So it saves you losing a day's work, but it costs you a couple of evenings that week. But I've done it. I'm pretty sure from now on, because I've took it apart and put it together that many times now, I won't need to label up stuff with masking tape of what wire goes where. I'll just know, and I could probably service things a lot quicker. So yeah, I'll probably have to service it myself now. At least if I get any problems, I know screwdriver and away I go. I could probably at least work out a problem and decide if it's something I can do. But yeah, I'm glad I got my gutter vac back. It makes my job easier. And also today, I know it's Sunday, I've had 2 emails as well, customers asking me to do quotes for gutter clears. So I'm really glad I wasn't holding out to have a good month. So I had money. I just need it fixed, need it going. I can't do the amount of work I do with my son and my daughter, clearing out gutters by ladder. I need the gutter vac so I can get all the jobs that are booked in that day done. So I'm glad I got it going anyway. So yeah, like I said, I'm hoping this month goes well. I've been saying it for 2 months. I just need a couple of months on the bounce and where I make the profit, and then I can use that to whittle down my expenses on my credit card and get it all paid off basically and done. But it's also made me re-look at my business, the window cleaning, and the advice I've got in the comments of you guys. And I'm definitely this year had enough of certain things, and I'm going to address them. Whereas normally I just keep quiet and too scared, I suppose. But now I'm definitely going to do something about it. So I'm just trying to show you a couple of things on there, get them lined up on the website for you, if I can find them. Here we go. So yeah, I've looked at people who are historically very late payers and where I'm chasing them up money. I'm always getting people asking me for quotes or asking if I'm taking on any more customers. So I thought, why not remove the ones perhaps that are making your life a bit hard and replace them with ones that are going to make your life easier. So when you first start, you're taking on all the customers, all the work you can get, and you live with it. But eventually when it starts to build up, you can get wise and maybe replace. But the problem is, while you get wise, you get on well with some of these lovable rogues, so to speak. So you kind of put up with a few things, I suppose. But it's only when you hit these tough times and you really need that money, but it's outstanding, and then you're having to borrow money just so you can go and clean someone's window. That's not a good spot to be in. So yeah, people who are always skipping very regularly because you can see they're trying to get the most for their money, I suppose. You're going to have to do something about that. And like I said, the late payers, I'm afraid, going to have to say something or let them go. I have let a couple of customers go, sadly, last couple of weeks. And yeah, I'm not going to go too much into it. It's not the place to air it. But they don't understand, I think, behind the scenes, the struggles you have. I swear a lot of people tend to think, as a window cleaner, that you probably just get out of bed, go to work at 10, finish at 3. But that's impossible to do that and have the money you need just to live. There's no way. So you're not at someone's beck and call, are you? You have to plan stuff. You have to put stuff in round. So just because it's raining and people say, no, it's bad rain today, can you do me next week? It's not always as easy as that, because you could be in different areas, and with all the driving around, it's just impossible. So you'd probably have to say to someone, right, you can skip, but I won't be round until the next scheduled clean, because unfortunately I'm so busy. And then hopefully they might get used to it, but I don't know. It's hard, isn't it? It's all right when you've got plenty of work and you get a couple of skips. You just think, well, I'm making the money I need that day and I'm going to get home earlier, so I'm not too bothered. But when it starts to hit you financially, something's got to be done. And there's a lot of good customers out there. And it'd be nice, wouldn't it, just to have all good customers, get that cash flowing. I think looking back, if I started this again, I would have took people's advice and just gone go cardless only. And that is it. Because if someone's going to refuse to pay go cardless, they're probably going to be late paying you anyway, as such people say. I know there's certain generations don't like that and they prefer cash, so to speak. And to be fair, they always pay straight away as well. But I think if you had the go cardless system going, you're not having to ask, knock, chase up for money, are you? It's just doing its thing automatically and will come through, and you know you're cleaning, you're getting paid. You do ask yourself, innit, what's the point of going around to a customer's house? You're doing the clean and you're waiting a month, 6 weeks, 2 months, chasing up the money when you've got bills that come out straight away. And then there's problems like with my gutter vac or your van, and you've got these bills that just come out of the blue to you. And you're trying to work hard to get all your work in the day and to keep people happy as well. And the weather can't be helped. Like people saying you're late, it's not my problem. But you know, if I turned up that day and it was a hurricane, they'd probably tell me to go anyway. Just some people, I think, just don't get it, do they? And just make your life easier. It's not worth the hassle and the stress, is it? Just walk away from the bad payers and find the good ones. So that's what I'm going to do this year, is try and streamline things so it's less stress and a bit better. It's not worth it. I mean, I'm married, 4 kids, and then in-laws live with me, and the window cleaning, is helping support all that. And obviously my wife's working with me, my son, my daughter. I've got another son, another daughter that help out on the big days that we do, one Saturday a month. It's a lot. And there's a lot of good customers out there, and word spreads, and people are happy with you, trust you. It's not worth getting messed about, is it? But unfortunately, some of these are lovable rogues is what I kind of call them. You've been cleaning for about 5 years, so you get to know their ways, and you know, people are people. You like people, but I think you have to draw a line somewhere. It's not fair, is it? It's costing you an arm and a leg. Ain't right. So yeah, that's my main aim this year anyway. And I know a lot of the advice has come from you guys as well, so I've thought about it. It's just having the balls, really, isn't it? And you're getting worried, but you work hard to do a good job, to do what you do and keep people happy. And you cannot keep everyone happy. And then at night, you're sorting out messages, and then you're getting the responses, and then you're trying to keep the peace, and they don't know what you do behind the scenes just to get out of bed and turn up. So yeah, but it's hard when you start, because every customer's valuable. Well, every customer's valuable anyway. But when you're first starting, you're trying to gain the money and get momentum going. But I think when you start to get full, knowing what your limits are, then streamline it and keep the nice customers. Just make your life easier, won't it? And it's definitely got to be the way to go. At the end of the day, you pay your bills, pay your money straight away. You're not. They don't let you wait 8 months to pay stuff off, do they? Well, not 8 months, 8 weeks or whatever. So, yeah. I've just seen me comment up there. I obviously can't spell. So, yeah, today, been cleaning my van, done all that. I was making pizzas for the kids and the missus. All handmade, so it took quite a while. So I'm glad to be on the live anyway, because I've been away the last couple of Sundays. I just haven't managed to do it. All right, mate, the Dane 824. 820 rule, 80% problems come from 20% of customers. Yeah, I could probably definitely agree with that one. Like I said, there's a lot of good customers out there, and I look forward to seeing a lot of my customers as well. It's just some of them, when you're waiting for money all the time, it gets persistent and things can build up. It's just an awkward place to be in it. So we've learned anyway, we just let 2 cleans build up. After that, then we stop going around. And like my daughter keeps saying, take people off to court. And I'm like, you can't do that. It's just best to walk away, because it's not exactly tons of money I'm talking about, and just replace them with another customer. Like I said, I'm always turning away work. And that's what some people have got to realise. You're turning away work so you can come to clean the windows, but then you're waiting for their money. You're getting messed around when you could quite easily take on a good customer, and then they're going to have to find someone else, aren't they? But you do get to know your customers, so it's not as easy as that. But this year, like I said, I'm definitely going to do something about it anyway. I think it was Darren from Green Pro Limited who's on about a traffic light system, red, amber, green. So do that for your customers, and obviously the reds are the ones you're highlighting to perhaps replace with better ones for whatever reason, or things to resolve. So it's always having these things on the radar, so you're a couple of steps ahead, so you can be planning. One day you'll just have enough. A lot of things going wrong. You're spending money arm over arm, and all you're trying to do is get to someone's window on time to clean it. That's all you want to do. And cash flow's massive. But yeah, I like that 80-20 rule. 80% problems come from 20% of the customers. So like I said, get rid of that 20%. I don't know if you'll always have 100%. There's always something, but you know, if you just talk to people, you can resolve a lot of things, can't you? Just getting on the same song sheet with each other, really. But yeah. But, going over to the gutter vac, it's here with the Skyvac 85 that I've got. These are the filter cartridges that protect your motors, basically. And so even the way the Skyvac works, even when it's wet, you will use these. But you've got to keep an eye on it, because when they get too soaked, obviously it's restricting the air being drawn into your motors. Excuse me. So you're going to lose the power the motors have got. So obviously you don't want them soaking wet. So It's always good to take a couple on the job with you. But they do say replace them every 4 months. But I don't know if that means if you're using your gutter vac continuously for 4 months. So obviously me being a Wally was stretching it a bit, and then my motors went. So it could be down to that. If the holes get too big in here and the paper filters, obviously debris is going to go through into your motors. Or might just be the life of the motors, because I've had the Skyvac over 3 years. But it's used in seasons. It's not used day in, day out. But yeah, I love it. And they started off 50 quid. Now they're £57, 60p. So there's an example of all the prices that keep going up on everything. And yeah, and your customers will say stuff like the only person don't put the prices up is you. That's another good sign to think about, putting your prices up. I did that last year, so I suppose I may have to do it this year to see how things go. But you don't want to lose your really good customers, do you? Just want regular work so you can plan of how much money's coming in, and then probably take into account the amount of time you're going to lose work due to setbacks or the weather. So I've worked out, if I do 3 weeks flat out with all my days packed out, I'm normally around about covering all the bases I need to for the month. So therefore I can afford to lose, say, 5 days a week's worth of work in a month. And obviously you're building your pot up anyway to cover that. But it is hard, isn't it? It's hard for whatever you do, I suppose. You watch the gardening channels and stuff like that. But everyone's saying you've got to put your prices up. If you don't, you ain't going to last. And you work hard. You work really hard. Well, I do. And I'm sure everyone else, window cleaners who watch this, all do as well. I mean, like you say, weekends off, but you're spending half the weekend cleaning your van, making sure your tyres are all right, the levels, screen wash, hoovering the van, stripping your kit down, your poles, putting it all back together, just so you can get through the week. And you do that religiously, don't you? And all these setbacks you get, a lot of people would probably quit, but it's just under your skin not to be like that and to keep going. And there's always a way around it, because you've worked hard to build up and start, so you face these problems already. And yeah, definitely try and streamline things, make my life and the year easier, and get rid of those serial skippers or completely always late payers. I mean, you don't mind the odd person being late here or there, because life's life, isn't it? But yeah, got to make your life easier, because it's you that's going to suffer at the end of the day. So I thought something come on this, and I got 21 comments, but it's no. I obviously need a new set of glasses. Talking about glasses, I can't afford the time off to go and have an eye appointment, let alone pay for a new pair of glasses. But get a couple of good months, the better weather here, I'm sure it'll all be the other way, and I'll be beaming and probably tell everyone how great window cleaning is. And then in the winter months, you'll be saying how hard it is. But yeah, that's that. Anyway, that's it for me on the live. I won't go on too much. Got a family downstairs, so I want to go and spend a bit of time with them. But my van's all done. It's all turned round. All the cloths, the poles are done. It's full. The trolleys are charged. My backpack's all charged up for the week. So hopefully have another good week. And my bank balance starts to get a bit better, and I'll start to feel happier. And I just hope no more setbacks. And see if I get these quotes for the gutter clears as well. Then the good bit is where you're trying to find how can I fit these in my work, because I'm so busy. That's what you want to be. But it's no good being that busy and not getting paid, is it? Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. And catch you on the next one. Take care.